Hello, losers, cool beans, and other lovable weirdos. Welcome back to some more Mycorrhiza. We're gonna check out some other endings in door 3. Don't worry, I'm intrigued about those other doors, but I'm a little bit of a completionist whenever it's easy and small. Like me! Without further ado, let's see what other wonderful, wholesome endings are behind our beloved door number 3, Trapped. Now, I forgot how, happily haunting, pleasant yet unnerving the music is in the main menu. But yes, let us check out some of the alternative outcomes behind door 3. If you're interested in the actual playthrough and story, the videos before this are a good point to be at. Okay, first things first, I want to take... There's two outcomes for these kids. Well, two other outcomes for these kids. One is whatever's going on with Lanny. So we're gonna see about that. And let's see if we can give room 1 some food. Give them the food. Here, I have some cans with me. It's not much, but it should help you keep going for a bit. His eyes lit up. He thanked me vigorously. I couldn't help but smile. Felt like I had given him some of the hope back that they had lost. Or I should head out, but I'll let you know if I find anything. These words, I stepped back through the door. Closed behind me as if a wind gust had suddenly blown through the hallway. There was a million to find whether the boy's condition had improved. And he's got little mushrooms. I could already tell from a distance that even more wounds had opened up. On top of that, it was as if some mushroom-like plants were sprouting out of them. Look at the little mushrooms. They're cute if it wasn't, horrifying. Amy didn't look well either. She was just sitting next to him, staring into space. It was as if she hadn't even noticed me coming in. Hey, Amy, are you alright? Her head barely moved in my direction. Scott? It was almost as if she didn't recognize me. I grew concerned. Yeah, it's me, Scott. Are you alright? She didn't reply. Maybe she was just tired. I couldn't blame her. This whole situation was pretty exhausting. Especially for someone as young as her. Where have you been? Voice almost inaudible. Searching for a way out of here. Don't worry, I'm sure I'll find one soon. She continued to stare at the floor with a blank expression. See you some more time. She's like, nope, she's not up for conversation. Yes, let's go. What will they... No, leave them with the food. Thank you. Everything's fine. I took them around to see if Frederick was nearby. Yep. 4. Bork, bork, bork. Room 3. The door wouldn't budge at first. How did it get stuck? It was totally fine the last time I tried to enter it. I started pulling on it with all my might. Eventually, I was able to pry it open. What had blocked my attempt to enter the room were vines and mushrooms growing on the ground. Where had they come from? My question was quickly answered as I pushed through them. Lanny's body seemed to be floating in the middle of the room, but I quickly realized that it was just being supported by some of the vines. It looked like they had sprouted out of him. How was this possible? Where was Amy? I couldn't see her anywhere. Amy, are you in here? Are you all right? No reply. She had to be. There was no way she could. My eyes darted around in a panic until I finally spotted her. It was Amy, but my heart sank into my stomach. There had been no way to escape the expanse of the vines. And so she must have been entangled in them and then, a little bit crushed. Something wet slid down my cheek, but I barely noticed it. I hadn't known them for that long, but I still felt responsible. I was their chance to escape this hell, but I had let them down. Shaking my head in disbelief, I stumbled backwards out of the room. The door fell shut in front of me. The horrible scene had burned itself into my mind. I was on the verge of losing hope, but I steadied myself and turned away from the door. Even if I wasn't able to save Amy and Lanny anymore, I might be able to help other people trapped in here. I shouldn't give up just yet. I had to postpone mourning their death until later. With a heavy heart, I went back to the middle of the hallway. Like, that's sad and terrifying as a concept. But I feel like the fact that you only see the vines makes it very easy to go, no, this is just a jungle room. There was nothing horrible happened to anyone in here. Then I'm going to experience that. Was it really a good idea to go back in? Stay in the door frame. Yep, this is door number 2. Hesitantly, I entered the room. I expected Frederick to jump towards me and demand to know whether or not I had any food on me. But to my surprise, he didn't. He was nowhere to be seen. Instead, another man, as if awoken from a trance, jumped up and stormed towards me. I tried to step out of the way, but he almost tackled me and grabbed me by my collar. You! You have food and water! Give them to us! I struggled to get him off me, but he kept clinging on to me. His strength was surprising, considering how frail he looked. Let me go. I don't have any. Liar, you still look healthy. I bet you're just keeping it all to yourself. As I struggled with him, a pungent metallic stench hit my nose. I finally managed to throw him off me. His body hit the ground. He laid there for a bit, gasping in frustration. Then he crawled back to where he had been sitting before attacking me. While catching my breath, I took a look around the room. Everyone was sitting in their own corner, eyes fixed on the ground. They looked more famished than the last time I had seen them, and the whereabouts of Frederick were also still a mystery to me. I approached a woman sitting in one of the far back corners of the room. I'm now curious how many corners are in this room. But she averted her gaze as I asked her if she had seen where he had gone. He's not here anymore. That was all she was willing to tell me. I had no idea what had happened here, and it didn't seem like I'd find out by asking them. Another wave of the pungent smell hit my nose, and I took a few steps back. What was that? It almost made me gag. Not wanting to spend any more time here than necessary, I left the room. An unexplainable feeling overcame me, a feeling this was a point of no return. Should I really enter this door? Don't enter. Amy, Lanny, I couldn't get myself to even get near the door. I can't help them anymore. I felt really uneasy about entering this room. Was it because of the way everyone had acted last time I was here? Or was it because of the smell? With a foul feeling in my stomach, I stepped over the threshold. An even worse stench than last time hit my face, stealing my breath and making my eyes tear up. It was enough to make me want to vomit, and I knew that if I stayed here any longer, I would. I don't know, everything looks fine here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with anything in this room. I took a look around the room through my teary eyes. There were piles of something. While quickly covering my nose, I wiped at my watering eyes and took a closer look. There were big mountains of clothes scattered throughout the room. Some kinds of insects were buzzing around them. But there was also another big red pile. At first I thought it was flesh, but as I got closer I realized that it was mostly organs. I quickly stepped back towards a wall, but as I did, I almost stumbled over something. I let out a shout as I tried to regain my balance. I glanced at the floor to see what I had stepped on. It was a woman who was leaning on the wall, but her appearance was off. Her stomach was horribly bloated, as if it was about to burst at any moment. Right next to her was a knife that was covered in blood. It didn't seem like she was killed with it, as I didn't see any stab wounds on her. Instead, she was covered in many small bruises. Either way, she was undeniably dead, even if I couldn't quite make out why. This whole room was bizarre. Piles of clothes, a pile of organs, and a woman with a bloated stomach. What had happened here? I quickly came to the conclusion that there was no use thinking about it, and I wanted to get out of here as soon as possible. The stench was killing me. Oh yeah, there's no obvious sensors here. No. She wasn't hungry at all. I gasped for air as I finally stepped out of the room. Trying to force the horrible image of what I had seen out of my mind, I decided not to enter the room again. I turned towards the other doors, and with a heavy heart, contemplated what to do next. Take all of the food. Decided to take all of it with me. I'd be fine for a bit without it, and this would give me some trading leverage. But I couldn't help feeling terrible, even if my decision seemed logical to me. I left the room and found myself in the hallway. What happens if you give room 2 all the food? Glanced around to see if Frederick was nearby. To my detriment, he was done as soon as he came in. Hey, we had a deal, remember? What are you talking about? You don't tell anyone about the food and I give you the gun. Don't be nasty and break our deal. Found himself right in front of me, close enough to smell his sour sweat again. Gave me an unloaded gun, so that deal wasn't legitimate to begin with. So I never said it was going to be loaded. Break it out now. Clenched his right fist. I was sure he would actually punch me if I said another word. Realizing that I wouldn't get anything out of staying here, I stepped out back into the hallway. If you thought you could get any more of an asshole. Just about to greet Amy, but then I realized she wasn't kneeling in her usual spot. My heart began to race. I started to assume the worst. I walked towards the middle of the room where her brother was lying. My eyes were still adjusting to the weak lighting. And there she was, lying next to him. They both looked famished, as if they hadn't eaten in at least a week. How could this be? I wasn't gone for that long. Something must have happened while I wasn't here. I shouldn't have left them alone. Then all of this wouldn't have. I could have stopped whatever did this to them. But I was too late. I approached them and checked both of their pulses. Nothing. I staggered backwards. There was nothing I could do for them anymore. With a heavy heart, I stumbled out of the room. The guilt vibes and the achievement titles are strong. And that brings us our cheery other outcomes in the rooms within door 3. Weren't they also cheery? Wonderful. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to check out my channel. I have a variety of horror content and occasionally recreate spooky locations in The Sims 4. So how much worse do you think doors 1 and 2 will be? I hope you're having a better day than literally everyone stuck on this mushroomy world cruise ship from hell.